Hey guys, I'm Fidel 1258 here. Today I want to talk to you about cards I'm picking up lately. Prices are reaching a place where I'm feeling comfortable. I'm buying a few things. We're going to spend a few minutes talking about that, why I'm fixating on these cards, what's good about them, what sort of price points I was targeting, and how I'm doing that in the most sort of economic way possible. Before we get into that today though, I want to just give a shout out to Splintercoach. Splintercoach.com is a website that will track your personalized battle history in Splinterlands. For $5 a month, that's going to give you two things. One, some fun as you look at that and you entertain yourself by understanding how you're winning and when you're winning. But two, that knowledge and that data is going to drive performance improvement and therefore get more rewards for your time and attention with Splinterlands. So check out splintercoach.com, $5 a month. Get into it. So I've got Mortius here on the screen. The first thing I want to say is that certain cards have gone down in value more than other cards. And I've talked about this before in a recent video, in fact, but I think it bears repeating that certain sets of cards have depreciated faster over the last 2 months, month and a half. So my data starts on May 5th. May 5th, what I saw from my own collection was that my collection was worth $53,000. Today it's worth $40,500. On June 26th, 5 days ago, it was about $200 more. So it's been and for the last month and a week, since May 29th, it's been relatively stable, give or take $1,000. And so for a month and a half, it's been relatively stable, but certain cards have fallen during that time and certain cards have sustained or improved. So I'm looking at the cards that have gone down as sort of my most interesting point of consideration, my most interesting point of investment. Cards, I'm not just looking long-term investment, I'm looking at cards that I want in my deck because they'll help me win more often. So when you look at cards in Splinterlands, one of the things I always articulate, and maybe if you're new to my channel, you will not have heard, and if you have heard, you should hear it again. You buy cards for several reasons. One, because they're going to help you win more often. Two, because you're a collector and you're interested in owning these assets. And three, because you just think it's going to be a strong investment. You think there's a scarcity there. You think there's a really unique ability or synergy that makes it a strong investment. For me, the best purchases are actually a combination of these, right? You need it because it'll help you win. You want it because you're a collector. And you think it'll appreciate. That if you can find that sort of package, that's of course the best optimized investment. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to use that with data, with things like Splintercoach to see what wins. And then also with, my own historic data to understand what's the best, most logical cards to seek out. So again, over the last 5-6 weeks, I've noticed certain cards have fallen harder than others. Alphas, betas have fallen a lot. And have continued to fall even in the recent days, whereas reward cards have fallen even more recently. So those are some of the sets and Chaos Legion as well, those 4 sets have fallen more over the last 8 to 10 weeks than the other sets, and they appear to continue to fall. They appear like they haven't floored. Whereas I've seen an appreciation in Rift Watchers, a stability since May 29th, actually since May 18th, even May 5th. Rift Watcher prices have stayed almost the same. They've fallen from, my Rift Watcher pack is cards have fallen from 2050 to 1960. I mean, not a big difference. Yes, it's not nothing. It's a $90 difference. And that's not nothing. But I'm saying compared to, for instance, my Chaos Legion, which have fallen from 15,000 to 10,500-ish, that's a 35% reduction with the Chaos versus a 1 in 20, a 5% reduction in my Rift Watchers. So which feels more stable, right? And I'm not, just because Rift Watchers has been more stable doesn't mean it's going to stay more stable, but there's only been 1 million packs sold. Even if the new DEC changes to Rift Watchers drive more Rift Watcher pack sales, there's only going to be maximally 3 million Rift Watchers versus 15 million in Chaos Legion. Yes, we can have burn mechanics happen later in the Chaos Legion. I like those too. I'm just saying for today, for now, I'm looking at Rift Watchers. I'm looking at Dice. I'm looking at Untamed. And If there's some old cards like an alpha or beta, I'm even potentially interested there, but the price points are just, they're quite a bit higher for per BCX, right? So then that's not really where my wallet is leaning right now. So it's primarily Rift Watchers and Dice or Untamed have been really, really stable too in the last few weeks. So that brings me back to Mortius. Mortius is a great card. It will help me right now. That's part of one of those 3 peers or pillars of consideration. It's a card that will help me win more often. It'll help me gain more rewards for my time and attention. That's one of the considerations when I look at buying new assets. Another is that I think it's a strong card and I expect it to appreciate. Part of the Rift Watcher set, there's only 3 million packs total. I don't think that's enough long term. I think land and I think future card player adoption and interest in these cards will drive sort of the demand for Rift Watchers well beyond sort of that 3 million pack supply availability. So Mortius is an excellent card. And as you look at this stats, I only have a level 3. So I bought 5 copies the other day. Right here, I bought 5 copies. And then one more thing is I'm using bid buys. You go to Peak Monsters and you use bid buys, you're going to find you can get discounts on the price points that you're finding quickly. If we come over to Peak Monsters and we look up Rift Watchers and we go back to Mortius, where is he? Legendary. We look at Mortius, the low buy 477, the high bid $4. So if you can come in and place up, you don't need to bid $4. You come in, if you like a card like this and you got DEC sitting in your wallet, there's opportunities for savings. If you are the guy who buys this for $4.01 versus the guy who's selling it for $4.77, you know what I mean? You're saving right there, you know, not and close to 20%, I would think. I can't quite do the math in my head, maybe 15%, something significant though. 75 cents, right? Savings. So bid buys are powerful. It's an amazing way to, you know, to build out your deck for a reduced price point. And then theoretically, remember I said one of the reasons why you would buy a card is because you think it's going to appreciate in the future. Well, you can almost guarantee that when you come in with bid buys. You can buy for $4 and it's selling for $4.77. You've essentially made 70 cents on your investment right on day one when you buy the thing. So Mortius is a card that I was looking at that I recently bought. Here's my buy data. I bought 5 of them because I wanted to drive from level 3 to level 4. As you can see, you get 1 more damage output. That's a significant damage, man. That's 7 damage output with the piercing too, by the way. It feels a lot like Dragon Jumper. If you don't know Dragon Jumper, pull that card up quickly because Dragon Jumper is an amazing card. And it's not a Rift Watcher. Dragon Jumper. There he is. Dragon Jumper gets the stun. It doesn't have a piercing, but it's got a high melee damage output. The opportunity, it's a bit faster. It's got 5 speed. It is flying and snare. But I mean, in some ways, this card feels all, you know, like Mortius. And therefore, and I love Dragon Jumper. Dragon Jumper, of course, is way more rare. So it's not looking at it from a price comparison. I'm just saying from a quality and a utility standpoint. You know, this is fire, not dragon, therefore it's less functional, less universal, but still great card. And I'd love to get this level 4, so I recently did that. We now have a max copy here. We got enough. I'll power it up right now. This will combine 6 cards. Yep, make it happen. And these are one of the ways, like with patience and with time, that I'm gonna find my path to the max deck that I want, with the key cards that I have available. So that was one of the purchases. Let's keep looking at some of the other things I've been looking at. There's 2 other cards I guess I was looking at, or 3 maybe. Another one is that Lycan Beast. I think this card is very strong for the sort of the mana cap and for the ability set, and just it's not an amazing card. I'm saying it's strong. It's not, you know, a carry. It's not like a must-have. I'm saying it's an excellent complement to a strong green team. Let's pull it up. Go. Lycan Beast. Knockout, Enrage. The Enrage turns the damage output into big places. The speed with the Enrage goes really high. 3 turns to 5. 4 turns to 6. And of course you can, if you dropping any Inspires on here, a 5 would turn to 8. If you're dropping any Quickness, a 4 would turn to a 6, or a 5 would turn to an 8. the Enrage really partners well with, you know, melee focused synergies, and for 5 mana, this is a big damage dealer. Now it's quite vulnerable. I'm not saying it's a main tank. I'm saying it's like, you know, kind of a niche contributor. But again, I want a full deck. I like Rift Watchers a lot. This is a useful card for 4 cents a BCX, 2.5 if you're high bidding. Very, very cheap if you're targeting the high bid and just patiently waiting for that to fill. And that's what I did. And then additionally, I snagged a few. Actually, I think I bought these outright. I didn't wait for high bids on these ones. I bought a little bit of the Whelp Herder, which is such a great dragon. Again, Rift Watcher, Opportunity Monster, such a powerful card. 3 mana damage, melee damage output. It's quite fast at the higher levels. And then Dumak Exile, such a strong sneak attack monster. So good. Absolutely amazing. And when you start to recognize that Untamed is going to move out of the modern fray in the next kind of iteration, I think you get to a place where you start to say, well, Dumak's even more important than he might currently be. Like, I would say for the white team, Dumak is less important for a sneak attack because of things like the Silver Shield Assassin, who is a double sneak attacker. Or you can look at cards like, you know, Feral, what's his name? There's a cat. These are wild cards. But I mean, when you get a Dumak with a great sneak ability with the Fury, which is going to double damage on your taunts, which taunts are more and more common these days, and you got good amount of damage, good amount of hit speed, hit points, and armor. It's a good package, and it becomes less necessary to have other sneak monsters, of which there are many good sneak monsters on this white team. But I'm saying, you want to, if play in Modern specifically, Dumak's your guy. If you want to play in Wild, but you maybe don't have the money for a Feral Spirit or a Silver Shield Assassin, this guy's going to help scratch that itch. So, like the card, strong, very reasonable prices. Yes, it's a common, and not a cheap card, but again, I just snagging it to get to certain key points. I think I might have maxed mine out if I recall correctly. Quick peek. Maybe not. No, I'm only at level 8. But level 8 brings me up to 1 more armor. I think I was probably at level 6 if I recall correctly. Definitely want to get this thing up here into level 10 with that 4th damage. But again, you got to be patient. Patience is key when you're building your deck. You cannot, there's no point in rushing out, building your boots, buying at current prices, dollar cost average. Okay, and quickly before we finish the video, I just want to say also two more, I guess. Sea Stalker, this card's so amazing. I recently went from the level, I forget what level rare, they go up to level 8. I had a level 7, and I moved all the way up to level 8. I think you get 1 more damage if I recall correctly at that level. That was a big addition for me. Such a great card. Yes, it's a bit high in the mana, but I think it's, you know, it's such a big damage dealer. I love camo cards because you get to throw those bombs and be ignored. And then lastly, I guess 2 more. The Watercolor, amazing magic monster, such a powerful card. I recently upgraded to get up into, where are we? Watercolor, the epic. Watercolor. So I'm up here at level 6. Level 6 gives me, I've got Reflection Shield. I don't think I even had level 4 before I went buying. So we got Reflection Shield now. We still got the Sun. This card, I need to have it. Like, I have to have this at the highest level. That 3rd damage is so pivotal. 5 mana, 3 damage, stun and reflection. This card's amazing. It's a must-have in my opinion. And I am slowly and patiently adding to my collection on that one. Now, last but not least, this is an oldie but a goodie. The Boogeyman. The Boogeyman is, I had, for the longest time, I've had a level 7, I think it was. Let's see. I've had a level 7 of this card. And but the thing is, I wasn't even that far away from being done. I think I had like 100 BCX. I was probably 15 BCX away from getting demoralized, which is a huge upgrade. With the Death theme, you can do like a triple demoralize. so annoying when you get like triple demoralized. Just check this out. Like picture this team: Harklaw's the tank, Boogeyman, Octopider, Kabbalist, maybe even a Fallen Spectre, and maybe I drop a tank or summoner that nerfs your melee output. If you try melee on me and I build that team, you're done. You aren't going to do a single bit of damage because I've quintuple nerfed you. And so I'm not saying that's not going to happen a lot. I'm just saying I like to have this in my kit, and I was so close to full, and the prices just continue to fall. Again, it's a reward card, and reward cards are taking a beating. So that's what I've been doing lately, just adding to my positions. Super convinced that Splinterlands is going where it needs to go and aiming in the right place, and that it's going to land where they've been aiming. So if you walk in that confidence too, I guess maybe the question is, are you taking this data seriously? Are you looking at, dollar cost averaging into some of these cards? Are you looking at SPS because, man, that's cheap under 2 cents? Or what's the vision for you? Because I do think bear markets are where the best plans for tomorrow are made, right? You don't wait till green candles come soaring along and then make your winning moves. You act in accordance with what you believe long term to build your position so that when the time is right, you can take advantage of the growth in the green candles, not chase them, but take advantage as they arrive because you're already positioned and poised to succeed. That's my approach. That's my view. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Which of these cards was your favorite? Which are the ones that you're looking at? Mortius, Watercaller, Sea Stalker, Boogeyman, some great cards there. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Have an amazing day. God bless.